Carla Carroll. I am the Ori Council Day Camp Program Director this year for our Cub Scouts, and I want to welcome you to our first ever video training for our volunteer staff, and those would be the people that come to lead the stations at our day camps. I want to say thank you to all of you who volunteer to be on our staff. We actually do 29 days of camp over the summer, and we have about 3,000 boys come to visit us, and we have a new staff every day. So that means there's nearly 1,000 of you that come to lead these fun stations and teach the boys. And the better we can support you, the better you'll be prepared to teach them and to have a great day at camp. Let me give you some tips for the day of camp. Arrival times are as follows. If you're doing a one-day camp with the Cub Scouts, you'll need to be at camp at 7 a.m. at the various locations. And if you're doing a Webelos camp, either day 1 or day 2 of Webelos camp, you'll need to be there at 12 noon. The reason we arrive early before all the boys is so that we can unload the trailer and set up each station and just be ready for them when they get there. Then you need to bring a lunch with you and a water bottle. You can bring a camp chair if you want. And you can also bring a pop-up or an umbrella for some shade. We do have trees at most of our camp locations, but I can't guarantee that everybody's gonna get a tree. So if you wanna bring your own shade, that's great. If you don't need to use it, you can leave it in your car or whatever. Then at the end of the day, after the last station is done, there's 10 stations throughout the day. We'll load up. You can have your last group of boys help you pack your tote and clean up all the station stuff, and then you'll take it back over to the trailer and help us load it if you would please. That gets us all home a little bit earlier, and we're usually done loading the one-day camps by 4 o'clock, sometimes earlier, and the Webelos camps will be all packed up and ready to go home before 9 o'clock, I'm sure. So welcome to the videos. I'm going to go through each tote separately, and there'll be a video for each one. And we'll see you on your day of camp. Okay, so this station is called Whodunit. When you get to camp in the morning to unload the trailer, or at noon, depending on which camp you're doing, this is the tote you will look for. It's this little white one with the label on the top. The label will tell you what should be in the tote and what the directors will replenish each day. If for some reason you're short on some supplies, just find one of the directors with the green shirt and we'll help you out while we're at camp. So I'm just gonna unload the tote. First of all, you'll find your station leader instructions. You should be receiving a copy of these by email from your volunteer coordinator. If you don't, please bug her until she sends them to you. And please read through them a few times before camp. It will help you to be familiar with the story and with the mystery and all of that. So I'm just gonna unpack the tote. There should be some paper towels. Here's some candles. These cards will look a little different on the day of camp. We're going to add all of the different substances on there so the boys can just circle which one they figure out is the mystery substance. It'll take a lot less time than them trying to write it in with a marker. So we'll have dry erase markers and cards for each of the boys. You will find 4 little containers with powders in them: the mystery powder, chalk, baking soda, and powdered sugar, I'm sorry. These trays will be labeled powdered sugar, baking soda, and chalk, so you can keep track of where you put what. There's 4 containers of different string types: cotton, wool, acrylic, and your mystery string, as well as this tray and a lighter and matches. Use whichever one works best for you on the day. It might be windy, it might not. And here are some vinegar and water samples. And then we also have our crime scene pictures and our chromatography pictures. With the chromatography, we found that it took too long to actually do the chromatography at the station, so we have samples here, and the boys can compare the unknown sample to the pictures, and that will tell them which substance was used in the crime. So to run this station, you'll just set up your different areas: string test, the mystery substance test, I'm not sure where those come into play yet. And then your crime scene picture. And then you'll set the tone for the boys by explaining what the mystery is, which is all in the station write-up. So you arrive at the den meeting and your den leader is perplexed. He's set up the room. He knows he put the flag out and now the flag has disappeared. So who took the flag? He knows there's 3 boys in the building working on other things. And so first you'll show them a picture of the crime scene before. This is what it looked like after he was done setting up the room for pack meeting. And this is what the room looks like now. And try to have the boys discover the clues. So we can tell the flag is missing and there's a little string on the floor. There's a ransom note on the table and there's some white powder next to the ransom note. So they can explore those pictures a little bit. Then we're going to learn about the different boys that were in the building. So there's Albert, who is dusting chalkboards in the classroom next door. Maybe the powder could be chalk. He's wearing a blue and white striped acrylic sweater. He was wearing a red down coat and a white wool hat when he came into the building. So the string could either be acrylic from his sweater or wool from his hat. He also brought with him a snack, powdered sugar donuts. So that could be powdered sugar. In his pocket were 2 quarters, a gum wrapper, a purple ballpoint pen, a black permanent marker, and a felt tip pen marker. So those are all suspects for the ransom note. And then it talks about Barry and Calvin. You can read those to the boys and have them, I think we might have cards with these descriptions that the boys can look at too if they want to go back and double check their facts. So at first you'll do the chromatography station. So you'll have them come and look at these. This explains how you would do chromatography at home. So number 1, create your sample. Cut a 1-inch strip of a coffee filter about 5 to 6 inches long. Draw a line with your marker about 1 inch from the bottom. And then tape your sample to the pencil and it'll hang into a cup just above the bottom of the cup. Then remove the pencil, add some water, then lower the strip into the water and make sure the bottom of the strip touches the water but not the line of ink. Wait for 15 to 20 minutes and watch the pigments creep up the filter strip. Do not stir or move the cup, and then you can remove it and look at your thing. So here are the samples of the chromatography that we did earlier and preserved. So a Sharpie did this, the felt tip pen did that, and the black marker, Crazy Art black marker, that's what it looked like. So here's our unknown sample, and this is what the unknown sample did when dipped in the water. So we can clearly tell that it was a Sharpie. So then you would go to your suspect chart and circle who had a Sharpie in their possession. So chromatography, you would circle Sharpie for Albert or Calvin or whoever had it. So you're going to eliminate suspects as you go. And then you will move on to the mystery white powder. So we have, they can look at the powders. You can open the mystery powder and the others. And honestly, it's probably pretty obvious, but you'll still want to go through the whole thing. So here's our 3 powders and our mystery powder. They can look at them and observe it, see which ones they think it might be. Then you'll take a little sample of chalk and put it in each one. You'll take the is that baking powder, and then powdered sugar. So you've got your 3 samples there, and I would cover these up as soon as you're done looking at them, just, you know, because. And then you get the one is, this is vinegar, this is water, the blue is water, the pink is vinegar, and you will put a little bit with each substance and see how they react. Okay, so there's a little fuzzing right here with the chalk. The baking powder's going crazy, and the powdered sugar is just kind of dissolving. So let's see what happens with the chalk and water, baking powder and water, and the sugar. So not really a whole lot of reaction there. Yeah, the chalk actually fizzes up really good with the vinegar. Okay, so now we're gonna test our control. Or our mystery powder, I guess. Water, not much of a reaction there, it just disappears quickly. And that is clearly baking powder, so that's our mystery powder. So then the boys would circle that on their sheet. And then you'll move on to the string. Now this has to do with fire, so of course it's going to be very tightly controlled by the station leader, which is you. Don't let the boys do the matches, don't let the boys do the lighter, make sure they're all back from the table when you do it. So you'll need to explain that different substances burn differently. So the acrylic, the cotton, and the wool, they're going to react differently when you burn them. Oh, we have tweezers too to handle the string. So we'll light a tea candle, and it's a little bit, just a slight breeze today, so I'm hoping we don't have any problem with the candle staying lit. If you do, you could turn the tote over, put this inside the tote and use it as a windscreen. Okay, let's do our mystery one first. You can do the mystery one first or last, it doesn't matter. And the good thing about this crime is we have an unlimited amount of mystery string. So there's our mystery string. It's burning quite nicely, kind of shrinking up and disappearing. It's leaving a little bit of a yellow residue on the pan. So let's try the wool and see what the wool does when we burn it. Okay, if you'll notice, our mystery string is all but gone with that yellow, and the wool just kind of burned on the ends. We'll try acrylic next. Oops, I put my candle out. Ooh, we actually have a flame there. And that is melting. Kind of similar to the mystery string, but it's leaving a lot more residue. I didn't get cut. All right, so let's try the cotton and see how it compares to our mystery string. Okay, well, I think we're going to find that our mystery string was cotton. So then they would circle cotton on the thread burning, and then they have to decide which suspect was the culprit, who stole the flag. So that's how we do the Whodunit station. Please read through it, become familiar with it, and have fun at camp. Play it up, let the boys have a good time with it, and I think they'll enjoy the station a lot. Thanks. Okay, I forgot to have you clean up at the end of the station. So at the end of each station, there'll be 10 stations throughout the day. So at the end of each one, you're going to reset everything, get ready for a new set of boys to come in. And then at the very end of the day, you'll need to clean everything up, put it back in the tote. So just make sure the lids are on tight, and that everything gets put back. Make sure these are wiped off. You can use the paper towels. Make sure the lids are tight on those. The candle, you want to make sure there's no liquid wax still. And then these, we'll have a little garbage bag in each of the totes, so you can put your string residue in there. And then at the very end of the day, after you got the tote packed up, you just take it back to the trailer and help us load the trailer, and then you are good to go. Okay, thanks. We'll see you at camp.